Good afternoon, everybody, whosoever is listening. Today we are starting a great mission. This CME is dedicated, and we are obliged to Abbott people that they are hosting this particular meeting. We all know that maternal mortality, when we started the 21st century, it was close to almost 500. But we find in the last 20 years, we have made a really a big journey. And now the maternal mortality is close to almost 100. And it is seen with the effort of Foxy and all the gynecologists and the government of India. One can find that the estimation is that every year they can be dropped by 5 points every year. So the bottleneck is the biggest cause is postpartum hemorrhage. And we are trying to aim, our expectations are that we are trying that it should be zero maternal mortality as far as the PPH is concerned. It's a high claim, but I think, it is possible. Here we are trying to see to it that all the members of the staff, healthcare workers are definitely get trained. What we know is active management of third stage. But I think, gynecologists also need to know something new today. Is I'm sure 5 or 10% of you are already using it. But in case if you're not using it, I think after Dr. Meenakshi's presentation, my request to all of you is that please start using this particular wonder drug and see the effect yourself. So over to you, Dr. Meenakshi, and then we have a lot of experts today who are already using carbetocin, and they will share their experience at the end of Dr. Meenakshi's presentation. So over to you, Dr. Meenakshi Sharma. Dr. Meenakshi Sharma, as you all know, is a secretary of the Delhi Gynecologist Forum East. She's alumni of All India Institute of Medical Sciences. She's done her both undergraduation and post-graduation from that particular place, one of the bright gynecologists, and has a lot of achievement at a very younger age. So over to you, Dr. Meenakshi.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the kind words. And this PPH questionnaire we had just shared before the start of the meeting. I will be just sharing the responses. Out of 13 people, 8 had correct answers of maternal mortality, which is 113 currently. And we see that almost 53% answered correctly the sustainable developmental goal, which is basically proposed by United Nations to be achieved by 2030 is 70. Maternal mortality should be achievable by that 2030. And the commonest cause of maternal mortality, we all know it's obstetric hemorrhage. And PPH loss, at least the 500 ml in vaginal and 1000 ml in cesarean, almost 61% answered correctly. And all of the following methods are used for treatment of PPH. Most of the people, they already know that the carbetocin is approved and it's available for the treatment of PPH. But for the treatment as such, carbetocin is not recommended. The treatment is
that is for prevention. That is for prevention.
That is for treatment. Carbetocin, I will be telling in detail for the prevention of PPH. And the current practice of the management of active management of the third stage. This I wanted to know what is the current trend, what we all of us are using. So almost 60% are using oxytocin 10 units intramuscular, and 20% are using 20 units in ringal lactate infusion, and 10% are using misoprostol 400 microgram orally, and 10% are using misoprostol 600 microgram orally. And 10% of carbetocin have already, there are some people who are using it. So 10% among the our meeting, people are using carbetocin already. This is a very good thing. Now I switch on to the presentation. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
So carbetocin is a new drug which has come. We all know that the maternal mortality, the current statistics, we have almost achieved 100 maternal mortality rate fall from 212 in the previous decade to the present decade, 2016 to 2018, the latest sample registration survey, SRS, which is available, and the figures which has been published recently in 2021, the maternal mortality rate in India is 113. And this SDG goal, which is proposed by United Nations, that we should be having a maternal mortality rate of 70 by 2030. We must be preventing each and every maternal mortality. The most common cause, we already know, it is the obstetric hemorrhage. The states which are having the maternal mortality rate of more than 113 are Assam, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Rajasthan, and UP. They have an MMR of more than 113, and they really need to come up in the maternal mortality. Figures should come down in these particular states so that we can achieve the SDG goal. Basically, postpartum hemorrhage, we all know that is loss of at least 500 ml following a vaginal delivery and 1,000 ml following the cesarean section. If any loss is greater than this, then we should be categorizing it as postpartum hemorrhage. And we must all know that the postpartum hemorrhage is it's very, very common and can occur even in women who are not at increased risk of PPH, and is the leading cause of maternal mortality in low-income countries and is primary cause of nearly 1/4 of maternal deaths globally. So we have a huge burden of postpartum hemorrhage leading to maternal mortality in India. As we know that the leading cause of maternal mortality is 35% of all maternal deaths, and the PPH incidence in India, almost 38% of all maternal deaths are attributable to postpartum hemorrhage, and 1/4 of all global deaths which takes place in India, and 2/3 of these are attributable to PPH. So India has an unexpectedly very high maternal mortality rate of 113, though we have come down a long way, but still a long road has to be traveled so that we achieve an MMR of 70 by 2030. The postpartum hemorrhage has a great impact not only on a family life, on the family per se, but as a country also. It increases the significant hospital stay. There's a high inpatient mortality, and it has a major impact on the lives and the health of the affected families, and long-term psychological impact on the affected women. The etiology of postpartum hemorrhage, we all know the 4 T's: the tone, thrombin, trauma, and tissue. These are the 4 most important etiology of postpartum hemorrhage, which should be identified as early as possible and adequate measures to be taken so that we prevent a postpartum hemorrhage and a subsequent consequences of it. Most common cause of postpartum hemorrhage is the atonic PPH, and it is the failure of the uterus to contract, which leads to excessive bleeding during parturition. And the most common risk factors are the known placenta previa, multiple pregnancies, and previous postpartum hemorrhage. But in low-risk patients, atonic PPH can occur, and almost 70% of the causes of postpartum hemorrhage are attributable to the atonic uterus. So these are the various risk factors: retained placenta, prolonged third stage of labor, preeclampsia, multiple pregnancies, episiotomy, previous PPH, failure to progress in the second stage, placenta accreta, general anesthesia, fetal macrosomia, and perineal laceration. But in low-risk population, most women developing PPH have no identifiable risk factors. So we need to be armed with all the medication, all the equipments available to prevent each and every mortality, each and every case of PPH. The categories of postpartum hemorrhage, blood loss is categorized as minor, major, or major categorized as moderate to severe depending on the amount of blood loss. Minor blood loss is up to 500 ml. 1,000, more than 1,000 and less than 2,000 is categorized as moderate, and severe is more than 2,000, which have a grave consequences as far as the maternal morbidity and mortality is concerned. So the clinical findings in postpartum hemorrhage is obviously bleeding, abdominal tenderness, circulatory collapse, fetal bradycardia, increasing abdominal girth, loss of uterine contractions, maternal tachycardia, and vaginal bleeding. And we must be evaluating these patients by rapid assessment of patient status, tachycardia, hypertension or hypotension, assessment of vital signs, and blood loss. And the examination and the laboratory investigations all go hand in hand, and we should assess the cause of the PPH and manage these patients rapidly. And a laboratory investigation should go as soon as when we recognize that the patient is bound to have a PPH. Complete that count to check the hemoglobin, hematocrit, platelets, and a coagulation profile should be sent along with the blood for cross-matching. The challenges in the development of PPH, as there is always a delay in diagnosis, and there is a visual estimation of blood volume. And many cases of PPH occur without even any identifiable risk factors. And under an overestimation of blood volume always occurs. So whenever we are estimating the blood loss is not much, but still the blood loss can be severe for that particular patient, especially it can be complicated if a patient has a pre-existing anemia or a cardiac disorders. They have a less threshold of blood loss, and with even a less than 500 ml blood loss in such patients can be critical for them. So the approach, I will not be going in detail now. Complications which are associated with postpartum hemorrhage, we all know. And the active management of third stage labor, this is very much everyone should be practicing it, because this is the only thing which we can prevent postpartum hemorrhage in patients, especially in patients who are low risk. In a high risk patients, we are already tuned. We are already take these patients in tertiary care. We arrange the blood prophylactically in patients who are high risk. But what happens to the low risk women? They are at the risk of developing a postpartum hemorrhage. And so these patients, we must all be prepared, and active management of the third stage of labor should be there for each and every delivery, whether it's a vaginal delivery or it's a cesarean delivery. So injection of uterotonic agent for contraction of the uterus and delayed cord clamping and assessing the uterine tone immediately to ensure the contracted uterus should be there for each and every patient. So how to prevent a postpartum hemorrhage? This the background is a picture of Taj Mahal, and Mumtaz Mahal, we all know, have died because of a postpartam hemorrhage because of multiparity. This tells us that even the privileged women can die of PPH. We should prevent each and every maternal mortality occurring because of PPH. So each and every unit, wherever the deliveries are occurring in the institutions, they should be ready to deal with such patients. And patient-centric recognition and prevention should be there for all patients. We should screen patients for any high-risk factors if they are evident. They should be managed in tertiary care. All low-risk patients, we should be vigilant enough to detect the PPH occurring early. And even a minimal blood loss, if it is there and we are basically observing it, and the uterus is relaxed, the patient is continuously bleeding, we should respond early rather than late. So the practice of prophylaxis of PPH is basically starts very early. As soon as the patient conceives, we should know the HB status of the patient. All patients, we should aim that by the time they go for delivery, their hemoglobin is more than 11 grams per cent. Because a patient who has a hemoglobin of 9 and a hemoglobin of 11, their blood loss capacity dramatically improves. If the HB is more than 11, they can tolerate a blood loss of even 1000 ml without even going in shock or having tachycardia. But a woman who is having a hemoglobin of 9 will not tolerate the blood loss even of 500 ml. So we must improve the hemoglobin of such patients, and HB should be more than 11 by the time they enter the third trimester. We should identify high-risk women, any patients who are having a cardiac disease, or any patient who is anemic, any patient who has other high-risk factors like a preeclampsia or multiparity, or previous cesareans who are having a placenta accreta syndrome. They should be identified and referred to a tertiary care. Plan for institutional delivery for all patients, because even low-risk patients can land up in PPH. Strict vigilance of all women in third stage of labor, and we should practice active management of third stage for all. An examination of afterbirth should be a routine to look for placenta and retained products they are not. Explore the uterovaginal canal for any trauma, especially after instrumental delivery, and we should take appropriate actions for that. WHO recommends the use of carbetocin as a uterotonic for active management of third stage labor, along with other uterotonics which are already in use like oxytocin, misoprostol, ergometrin, and oxytocin and ergometrin fixed dose combinations are all can be used for active management of third stage labor depending on whatever is available in your facility. So active management basically the most effective strategy to prevent the postpartum hemorrhage, and prophylactic uterotonic are the most important component of active management of third stage labor by administration of the uterotonic drug. So, however, there are limitations with the alternative uterotonic drugs which are available. Ergometrin and methyl ergometrin, basically compared with oxytocin, they have a reduced efficacy and significantly increased nausea and vomiting. Symptometrin, as compared to oxytocin, it has significantly greater incidence of elevated blood pressure, nausea, and vomiting. And symptometrin shows no efficacy advantage when it is used in combination with oxytocin. Misoprostol use is off-label, but it's been recommended by all the professional associations. It is less effective than oxytocin, and compared with placebo and other uterotonics, it has greater risk of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, shivering, and pyrexia. The only advantage is that it's heat stable, so can be used in low resource settings. However, there are the challenges with the current therapies which are available and in use for PPH management or even the prevention of PPH. Oxytocin, we need to have an appropriate trained clinical staff to administer it. Regular patient monitoring is required. It has a very short half-life. So if the syntocinon drip which is on, it's somehow blocked, it's not running, then the patient, the uterus can relax and patient can land up in PPH. And along with oxytocin, there are need for other uterotonic agents. Along with that, the oxytocin need to be stored in a refrigerator for 2 to 8 degrees centigrade to have a good efficacy. Potency of the oxytocin is affected by the cold chain management. Symptometrin significantly increases the risk of elevated blood pressure, nausea, and vomiting. And oral misoprostol has high risk of severe PPH, increased need for additional uterotonic along with misoprostol, and a greater incidence of nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and shivering. Methergin significantly increases the nausea and vomiting. So what is the rationale of development of carbetocin? Basically, it's the heat stable formulation. The oxytocin molecule basically has been altered in the laboratory so that it is made to be stable at room temperature. And it has a long shelf life as well as a long half-life in the in vivo. The shelf life is almost 24 months at 30 degrees centigrade, which is room temperature, along with a good humidity, 75% humidity. It is stable at these temperature and conditions, which is good for our country, like tropical country, where the hot and humid weather, this will remain potent at the room temperature. So there's no need for cold chain storage and logistics. Obviously, it can be used in low resource settings. It is provided in a vial, which is very easily, it can be used. So the main carbetocin overview basically is the synthetic long-acting analog of oxytocin. It acts by binding to the oxytocin receptors. It prevents the PPH, which is caused by uterine atony. And one vial contains about 100 microgram of carbetocin in 1 ml of injection. The main mechanism of action is that it binds to the oxytocin receptors and triggers the activation of IP3 and diacylglycerol. And IP3 basically it induces the release of free calcium from the available intracellular calcium stores. And this calcium which is released binds to calmodulin and stimulates the smooth muscle contraction and causes the tonic contractions in the uterus, which is the most important action which is needed for atonic uterus to prevent PPH. So a single IV dose, intravenous dose of carbetocin 100 microgram administered after delivery of baby is sufficient to maintain adequate uterine contraction, preventing the uterine atony and excessive bleeding with efficacy comparing to the hours of oxytocin infusion. So this is the basically the what is the onset of action? It is very quick. When we give it intravenous, 1.2 minutes is the onset of action. When we give by intramuscular, it is 2.3 minutes. And the duration of action is almost 60 minutes in IV and almost 120 minutes in the intramuscular injection. So single dose of carbetocin is effective to achieve a contraction for almost 2 hours. While in oxytocin, it is a very short duration half-life in vivo. And as soon as the IV infusion is stopped, the effect goes. So this is one of the most important thing which is there for carbetocin. This reduced need for additional neurotonic because the effect lasts for almost 2 hours. It has got a longer half-life, with similar efficacy as compared to oxytocin. No cold storage required, good tolerability, and similar onset of action. So the oxytocin displays a high structural similarity to vasopressin, and carbetocin basically is 24-fold less potent than oxytocin at the vasopressin receptor. So the side effect of oxytocin, which are there for water retention and hyponatremia, are not there with carbetocin because the efficacy and the potency of the carbetocin at the receptor level of the vasopressin is 24-fold less than the oxytocin. This is one of the biggest advantages of using carbetocin. What are the clinical evidence available to us? Carbetocin has been a very widely researched drug. It has been, many studies are available for its use versus oxytocin. The greatest is the WHO champion trial and various other studies I will be going in detail. This is the largest champion trial, WHO champion trial, which is a basically non-inferiority study when compared to oxytocin. And almost 30,000 women across 10 countries, including India, were enrolled in this study. And they compared the effectiveness and the safety of carbetocin to oxytocin in prevention of PPH after vaginal delivery. And the primary outcome measures were the proportion of women with blood loss of at least 500 ml or the use of additional neurotonic agents, and the proportion of women with a loss of more than 1000 ml of blood loss. So they have seen there is no difference between the group of carbetocin as well as oxytocin when the blood loss more than 500 ml or the use of additional neurotonic was concerned, and a blood loss of more than 1000 ml. The efficacy, there was no difference. Both the groups were equally efficacious. So it is non-inferior to oxytocin. Even the adverse effect profile is similar in both the groups. Carbetocin decreases the need for neurotonics. Basically, this is a meta-analysis of 5 trials, which was published in 2020. And 617 patients in the carbetocin group and 597 patients in the oxytocin group were recruited, who were to be delivered by cesarean sections. And the primary outcome was the need of additional neurotonic drug in these patients. And they have seen that almost 28.2% of the patients who were treated with carbetocin as compared to 51% of oxytocin treated group required additional neurotonics. So very few patients required an additional neurotonic when carbetocin was used as compared to oxytocin. And the pooled incidence of blood transfusion was 2.17% in the carbetocin group and 5.94% in the oxytocin group. So blood transfusion were also less when patients were treated with carbetocin. Single dose carbetocin versus continuous infusion of oxytocin. This was evaluated in a study in 2013, where it's a prospective case controlled study of 102 women. 51 were recruited in the carbetocin group and 51 were recruited in the oxytocin 20 international unit infusion. And they have seen the results that patients who were treated with carbetocin and oxytocin have a hypotensive effect. Women treated with oxytocin showed a greater reduction in blood pressure as compared to carbetocin. Significantly, more women who were treated with oxytocin needed additional neurotonic agents as compared to those treated with carbetocin. And they showed a better uterine contractility at 2, 12, and 24 hours with a statistically significant difference. A single injection of carbetocin was found to be more effective than a continuous infusion of oxytocin in prevention of PPH. Sorry for my throat. This is a randomized controlled trial which has compared the carbetocin and oxytocin. This involved, published in Lancet in 2014, involved 1210 patients who had at least one risk factor for PPH. Even in patients who have a high risk factor of PPH, they were administered carbetocin and compared with oxytocin, single IV bolus of 10 units and oxytocin 20 units as an infusion for 6 hours. This study also shows that there is a lesser incidence of PPH in the carbetocin group, less blood loss in the carbetocin group, and less number of patients treated with carbetocin needed an additional neurotonics. And it's an this is a Cochrane, this is a 2020 maternal fetal medicine study, which was a prospective single-centered randomized double-blind controlled study. In prevention of PPH, carbetocin was used in patients who have high risk factors. So 314 were enrolled in the carbetocin group and 300 were enrolled in the oxytocin group, and they were analyzed for the blood loss of more than 500 within 24 hours postpartum. In this study also, they had shown that carbetocin significantly decreases the risk of manual removal of placenta. Carbetocin has 83.1 probability of being the best agent to reduce the PPH in more than 500 ml blood loss after vaginal delivery. An advantage of this application at the end of third stage of labor was that it decreased the need of uterine massage and need of other erythrotonics. So this is another study which shows the comparison of carbetocin versus oxytocin, whether another interventions was needed or not. So it compared about 100 microgram carbetocin was given to 462 patients, and oxytocin 5 international unit bolus and 10 units bolus or a bolus of 5 units along with an infusion was given in about 1,000 patients. And they have also seen that carbetocin was most effective compared to oxytocin 5 unit bolus. So single agent treatment is effective for prevention of PPH. So this is a study which was published in 2011, which is compared with symptometry. This shows that the efficacy and the safety of the carbetocin single dose as compared to a single dose symptometry injection, which was given in the active management of third stage of labor to prevent PPH. 240 healthy singleton pregnancies were enrolled in the study, and they were randomized. And they found that the requirement of additional uterotonic therapy and incidence of PPH and amount of intrapartum blood loss was less in carbetocin group as compared to symptometry group. So reduction in the postpartum blood loss, smaller drop in hemoglobin levels, and less adverse effects makes the carbetocin more effective than symptometry. So this is another meta-analysis where the carbetocin, the efficacy and the safety was established. It is very safe as compared to oxytocin. There are significantly less causes for vomiting, nausea, and headache, leukocytosis, heart rate disorders, arrhythmias, palpitations, fall in blood pressure, and skin rashes were less as compared to the oxytocin. This is the Cochrane analysis, which was published way back in 2012, and it has established that carbetocin is a very promising agent for PPH prevention. And intramuscular administration of carbetocin at a dose of 100 microgram is more effective than oxytocin for prevention of PPH. And its use is associated with less blood loss and better tolerability profile as compared to symptometry. So this is a meta-analysis which says that the carbetocin versus oxytocin, it is significantly better. Carbetocin versus oxytocin for treatment and mean blood loss is better as compared to the oxytocin. And carbetocin also was found to be efficacious as compared to symptometry in the management of PPH. So it was carbetocin was compared with oxytocin, symptometry, and misoprostol. This is another study which has come up, which compares the carbetocin to the misoprostol plus oxytocin, which many of us are using a misoprostol as well as an oxytocin combination as an active management of third stage of labor. So in such situations, this study was planned, and about 380 women were enrolled, and they received either a 400 microgram of sublingual misoprostol along with a 20 international units of oxytocin, and were compared with IV carbetocin of 100 microgram. And the outcome was the requirement of any other uterotonic drug, hemoglobin levels, and estimation of the blood loss. And they found this no significant difference was observed in the requirement of additional uterotonic drug. Pre and post-operative hemoglobin and estimated blood loss. Significantly better outcome was seen in carbetocin group as compared to the misoprostol group. So the guidelines and the recommendation. Many professional bodies recommend the use of carbetocin for prevention of PPH. WHO in 2018, carbetocin was included in the armamentarium for management of PPH, for prevention of PPH. SOGC Canada, this New Zealand guidelines, PICO guidelines, Germany, Australia, and FCOG France guidelines. All these guidelines, they recommend carbetocin for management of PPH as a active management of third stage of labor drug. So postpartum hemorrhage remains a clinically significant cause of maternal complication and death. Postpartum hemorrhage is common and can occur even in women who are not at risk. So we must be prepared whenever we are delivering any patient. PPH has a major impact on lives and health of affected women and their families. And literature recommends the use of uterotonics as a active management of third stage of labor. This could reduce the risk of PPH by more than 40%. Carbetocin is a synthetic, long-acting analog of oxytocin, which is created by making several modifications to the oxytocin molecule. And this is stable at room temperature. And the formulation is very convenient to use in a 1 ml 100 microgram dose preparation. It has a similar efficacy and a safety profile as compared to oxytocin. And carbetocin significantly decreases the need for additional uterotonic agents or a uterine massage, and reduces the blood loss of less than 500 ml in more women as compared to other uterotonics. The Champion trial is the biggest trial which was conducted and had shown that carbetocin is not inferior to oxytocin in any condition. Compared with symptometry and misoprostol plus oxytocin, carbetocin demonstrates significantly better hemoglobin levels, lower risk of hypertension, and fewer adverse events. So the various guidelines, WHO, FCOG, FIGO, SOGC, New Zealand guidelines, they recommend the use of carbetocin in the management of PPH. Thank you.
I think it had absolutely concise, comprehensive management, which Dr. Meenakshi has said. There is no doubt that we have to go a long way, long way to compare ourselves with the neighboring countries. We find that Sri Lanka in our neighboring countries is the best, but we are even worse off than Bangladesh. And what Sri Lankan people say, that they have their crux of decreasing maternal mortality lies with institutional delivery and with training their junior staff, healthcare workers, especially the nurses, the A&Ms working there. So I think, for postpartum hemorrhage, 40% of our cases are because of the postpartum hemorrhage. And I think hamari chook kahan hoti hai on active management of the third stage. So I find many experts, there is no doubt after Dr. Meenakshi's presentation, that carbetocin is a wonder drug. It is now getting available in most of the institutions. In a private institutions, people are requesting and they are getting it. But I will like, whosoever has used, first let them share it with you. Probably it will summarize what individual person is saying, and then we will go in the end. But one thing is very clear, was what Dr. Meenakshi said, our aim that at the delivery, the lady should definitely have 11 gram %. I go a extent further, that in the last 20 years, I have always aimed at 12 gram hemoglobin at the time of delivery, and this prepares her for the blood loss. In case if a hemoglobin is 12 or 11 gram %, 1000 milliliter blood loss, she will just walk away without any effect on the vital signs. And what is active management of third stage? I think all of us must be very clear. Use of uterotonic agents, control contractions, and lastly, that we must have the uterine massage is definitely required. These three things we should never forget, and close vigilance in the first 1 hour is vital, but I think I will say the next 6 hours patient should be very closely monitored. With these remarks, I will request all our experts to give their mind on it. We can find Dr. Surjeet, Dr. Neha, Dr. Vandana, Dr. Shivali Makkar, Dr. Shama Batra. Start with you. Dr. Jyoti Bhaskar, you have to say something? Dr. Jyoti Bhaskar? Dr. Jyoti Bhaskar, I could see her just now.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Ma'am, this has been a very excellent talk that has been given. But yes, we need to really procure this particular carbetocin, especially wherever we are working, and we do have a safe to be able to. and then use it and actually share it in great numbers. The drug, single dose, very easily administered, has a prolonged effect for 4 to 5 hours. We may not need to use any other utrotonics along with that, and we actually need to use it and see how well
Not clear. Jyoti, sound is not clear.
I think
use, you'll find things will be much better. इनका प्लेटफॉर्म ही ऐसा है डॉक्टर साहब.
And I think the most important advantage, it's a heat stable drug, which we have a problem with the oxytocin. If once taken out oxytocin, you need to put that back. If it's been there for 3 months, it's useless. But then this carbetocin has that particular benefit. So we have many experts, madam, who have used it. So we would like to give them
Yes.
their experience. And hopefully 1 month later, I will also use it in my place, and then I'll also share my experience.
Yes, Dr. Vandana, you want to speak?
Yes, ma'am. I have used it in 2 cases only as yet. Had wonderful results. Although I was having good results with IM and IV oxytocin also given simultaneously. And they have even at Apex Center where I use it, the sisters have become so trained. The people, other people who are visiting, they tell them, I am Dr. Vandana Dilwati hai, wo dilwa do oxytocin. And that is really good. But carbetocin has had an equally good result.
I think it is.
Prolonged. So monitoring is probably would not be required as we gain experience, and with oxytocin we have to keep it for a longer time, and we have to continue it in a drip, which would not be required over here. Monitoring becomes less intensive.
Okay, Sujit.
Yes, yes. Basically, what is all fine. I think some. All it is, we really agree to all these things. The important thing is country like India. It is not easy to maintain the cold chain, the same. So that is the best for the countries like us, which is hot and humid. We should not be worried about the degradation of the product. That is all we know, that utrotonics are the first line of treatment to prevent PPH. So that we all know, that we agreed it completely. The only thing is which utrotonic. Now we are lucky to have that one utrotonic, that is carbetocin, who is not going to degrade easily. And even other also, argometrin also, even the mesoprost also, due to the moisture, it gets degraded. So we are very much confident about using it, so that it is going to have a good efficacy, and we don't have to depend on our staff or how it is keeping. We are not keeping everything, and that times we were really worried. आपने 4 इंजेक्शन लगाए, 2 बाहर ही पड़े रह गए, किसी ने उसको 2 घंटे तक देखा ही नहीं है कहाँ पड़े. And next time you ask them, it is not being effective. So sometimes we did not put our brain into this thing. So now I just थोड़ा सा मैंने Google किया internet पे, so they said they have done a quality assessment in different hospitals for the efficacy of mesoprost, and how they are keeping mesoprost, how they are keeping oxytocin. They said they have found 60% are not keeping it well.
Yes.
Even the pharmacies do not know. Pharmacies do not know that it has to be kept in the fridge. And even the pharmacies also, it is lying outside. They have not kept. After taking from the buyer, they are not keeping it. They said 60% we have found that people are defaulted. So at least now we are not worried about the chain. From where we are buying, we don't have to look after how they are doing what they are doing, and we have it. But it is definitely, it is too premature to have the effects and efficacy. It is too premature because we have not used it so this thing. We have used use in 5 patients. It is just for prevention only. But one thing has to be clear, it is not for the treatment of PPH.
Yes, yes.
People should not be like saying this message, it is a treatment. It is for the prevention. It has been indicated for the prevention only. And it should not be used in induction of labor like oxytocin, although it is analog of oxytocin, but still we do not have any protocols like this. But definitely, that is active management of labor. Since our college time, we have been hearing all that should actively manage, and we have to prevent PPS, we have to prevent maternal mortality. For all these reasons, I think it is going to be best in India because of our hot and humid conditions. So that way, even that they say ना, like कि अपनी essential medicine check करते हैं हमारे उस समय जिस समय हमारी registration होती है. So I think it should be recommended as essential medicine for delivery patients.
Dr. Sujit has made 2 good points that, we gynecologists have a habit, जिसके लिए ड्रग आया है उसको यहाँ ना यूज करके और जगह भी इसको यूज करेंगे. So she's very rightly said, please do not use it for induction of labor. This is meant only for prevention of PPH and not as treatment of PPH. And the beauty lies that if you can prevent something, why think about treating it? So this is what it is, that if you take a very simple step of preventing it, at least 70% problems of yours, which is atonic PPH, can be prevented. And because it has a long-lasting effect, sometimes the drip is not going, oxytocin is not properly going. So at least that kind of a hassle is not there. Whether you use intramuscularly or whether you use intravenously, the effect is very soon is there, and it's a sustained effect. In fact, if you use intramuscularly, the effect is lasting for a longer time, for 1.5 hours. And this is what we need to be utilized in this. In fact, I would like to ask Dr. Makkar about it. Madam, what is your experience about it?
And another thing is, it is for 3 years. You can keep it.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Between 30 degree to 60 degree, you can keep it for 3 years. So
Shelf
that is
life.
also one very good point. We have a very good shelf life. We've got a good time with us.
Dr. Shama Batra, Dr. Makkar.
Shivali, open. Unmute.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Unmute.
Yes.
Yes, I have used in 2 patients. One patient was having unbooked case, 8.9 something hemoglobin was there. And usi samay I got that carbetocin 1 or 2 days back. So I used in anemic patient and PIH. I got a very good result. And as a prevention, we have used for PPH. Then I told sister, please watch ki pad mein kitna bleed aa raha hai ya nahi aa raha hai compared to the other patient. It was very less. Within 24 hours, patient has used only 2 pads. It was bleeding was not much. And one more good thing that the way everybody was saying, it is heat stable. And other thing is nausea, vomiting, shivering is not there with this drug. Otherwise, if we give carboprost, there will be nausea, vomiting, and shivering is there. Then second patient I've used in PIH. That is also cesarean, but I have given that patient IV. First patient I have given IM because I was little bit first time I'm using, so I used only IV, IM for first patient. The other patient, it was IV, or it was nice. Only 2 patients I have used. And the sisters have become very smart nowadays with the Manyata, and for active management of labor, they are keeping all things ready. Now they know why syntocinon is not kept in outside and kept in fridge. They have become smart. Or they were telling me, I know, but you also should know. You should also follow. That is good. It's nice experience.
Yes.
Now in future we use. Yeah.
I can see Dr. Seema, I can see Dr. Jyoti Agarwal. Dr.
Ma'am, can I
Rupa
speak?
Madura want to make any comment.
Ma'am, can I speak now?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
Shivali.
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 Ma'am, I've used in 12 patients till now. 2 cases of normal delivery and 10 were cesareans. Out of all those, only 1 patient case of twins with a cesarean, I had to use prostadine because it was not controlled after carbetocin. Rest in all the patients, the carbetocin had a very good effect. The only thing which I noticed was they say that it doesn't cause hypotension, but it does cause hypotension because generally the patients, the labor patients, or even the cesarean patients are little dehydrated. So you need to load them with about 1,000 liters of fluid because there is a fall of in the diastolic blood pressure after giving carbetocin, and once you give about 1,000 liters of fluid, then it comes up. So that's the only thing which I have noticed. And otherwise, the same thing, it's heat stable, the effect is prolonged, the blood loss is less, all those good things. And yeah, side effect like shivering and nausea, vomiting is negligible.
So, Dr. Shivali, can I ask you one thing as far as the hypertension you are saying?
Yes,
Because
yes, ma'am.
your elective cesareans were also under spinal.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
with that itself, there can be a hypertension. So how much time after carbetocin did you see the hypertension, and how will you be able to say it's because of carbetocin and not other factors?
Ma'am, because like if the blood pressure was fine before the baby was out, the BP like 100 by 60 or 110 by 60. So just after giving carbetocin, 2 to 3 minutes after giving carbetocin, the diastolic was like 100 by 50, 54. around 50. And after giving fluid 1 or 2 liters, it came back. So, and I would always request everyone to use a 24 gauge cannula in all cases. In 18 gauge cannula for all labor patients, because then you'll be able to give like a bottle of saline or whatever, 500 ml in just 5 minutes. So then the BPs generally in all the patients come up.
Normally,
I think, you know, Dr. Makkar, you've given a very good point, because what is the practice prior to cesarean section? Soon, when as far as the spinal is given, you know, these anesthetists give one running bottle. This is the practice.
Yes,
and in case if you know, because it is known that whenever you give oxytocin or carbetocin, there can be hypotension. But you know that one should really not be scared. And you said that one fast bottle of fluid need to be given. But as far as the bleeding is concerned, you will never find that there is the uterus is well contracted, and you will not be finding the bleeding aspect of it. So I think, you know, this my all request to all people who are there listening me for elective cesarean section. When the patient is wheeled inside the theater, give them 1 gram of Taxid, tranexamic acid. And after that, you give these patients, whatever the anesthetists are doing, you give those patients, and then let us know in cesarean section, is any of your patient has had problems of atonicity. I think, you know, what we need to do is there are at least active 100 members of in East Delhi itself. And as Madam Dr. Makkar has shared her experience, I think, you know, more and more anesthetists should be able to tell that this is what it is. But at the same time, we must corroborate that at that time, was the uterus contracted, and was there no atonic PPH. So this is what is known. And I think, you know, will have more experience. My request to everybody is, when you're using carbetocin during for the prevention of postpartum hemorrhage, please, in such patients, when a patient is wheeled in theater, you should give them tranexamic acid, also 1 gram. And I find, you know, 2-3 patients where we have used this, you know, the uterus is so bloodless surgery. आपको ये लगता है कि ये कितना कम blood loss है, and this need to be seen. I think this hypotension thing, we will definitely try to see that, you know, this particular point should be noted by each and everybody. Dr. Rupam, you want to share something?
I would like to comment one thing regarding the hypotension with the use of carbetocin. In the literature also, they have reported about 2% patients did have hypotension with carbetocin. But when they compared with oxytocin, that oxytocin group had a 5% risk of hypotension. So it the risk is almost half as compared to oxytocin with hypotension. And all patients, we should preload them with about 1 liter of saline.
Meenakshi, the answer is preloading the patient before elective cesarean.
I think you must make sure that the preloading is done.
Yes.
Ma'am, even after preloading, patients with carbetocin required another about 500 to 1000 ml of fluid, even after preloading.
Let me be very frank with you, Dr. Shivalik. This particular drug has been used in Europe very extensively, and initially they used it for all cesarean sections, and they were very, very much satisfied. And you know, those reports I've gone through, they have never said that the hypotension had been a problem. So I think, you know, you should speak to your anesthetist that the preloading, if they do it judiciously, do they still find it in comparison to the oxytocin which they were using earlier?
Ma'am, compared to oxytocin, it is still there. Ma'am, but it is still there. It's still there, though it is less, almost half as compared to oxytocin.
शिवानी, हम तो लड़ पड़ते हैं ना सेटिस से कि आपके स्पाइनल से हो रहा होगा, हमारा पेशेंट तो ठीक है.
Ma'am, problem ये होती है कि
data to be able to comment on this. This
finger pointing से कुछ काम नहीं चलेगा.
we cannot be placing it. Yeah.
Another thing I would like to speak here is that what I understand that active management of third stage of labor तो करना ही है. So 10 units of oxytocin we are giving, and in patients with high risk factors for PPH like macrosomia or anemia, in those patients I have used carbetocin additionally. Am I right, ma'am? So
now अगर आप oxytocin use करो या आप carbetocin use करो, आपको carbetocin in every point you will find an edge. This is wonder drug. Otherwise, WHO cannot put it on the top priority. all India, this American college cannot put it on top priority. Canadian cannot put it on the top priority. So it has been, must be there. We have to use it. And when we use it, 100 cases of ours, we have to see the difference.
This carbetocin and oxytocin, they will be acting through the same receptor, oxytocin
Yes.
receptor.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes,
what
yes.
should not be given, either one or the other.
It should be one.
यूज करना है, एक ही यूज करना है। अगर सेकंड जरूरत है तो फिर हम दूसरी यूज करेंगे।
हाँ बेटा क्लास है क्या
Receptor is the same.
Then we'll use
Oxytocin molecule will be competing with the carbetocin molecule.
It is analog. It is analog of oxytocin only.
So
You cannot
Dr.
use
Deepti also, ma'am, Dr. Deepti is also the expert.
Dr. Deepti, I can't see anybody, so I will not be able to say. I can't see
No,
Dr.
I'll
Jyoti,
just-
I can't see Dr. Deepti.
Dr. Jyoti Agarwal,
Dr.
Dr. Deepti.
Dr. Deepti, please. Hello, Dr. Deepti now.
Hello. Hello.
No, I think I can't see her.
No, we
नहीं,
can't
I
see. Actually, ये platform की problem है. I can see Dr. Meenakshi, Abha, Adita.
Dr. Rupam is also not there, ma'am. I'll just check if they're there.
नहीं नहीं I
Alright.
check. I check. Dr. Rupam नहीं है.
I have a
Dr.
question, ma'am.
Yes.
Aji, please ask questions.
Ma'am, is it to be given IV or IM? How do we decide
Both.
whether it is to be given IV
I
or
think
IM?
all the three are not there.
IV or IM.
And Meenakshi, specify when we give IV, how do we dilute it so for everyone's benefit? So we are giving bolus, or we're going to dilute that?
It can be diluted in 5 ml and given a slow IV over 1 to 2 minutes, or it can be 1 ml can be given straight away IM.
Yes,
After the
this they
delivery
have
of
specified,
integral
this should be
After
given
delivery
IV or
of
giving,
integral
it should be given slowly over a period of 1 minute. 1 minute is a big time.
yes
1 minute is a big time, and I think this must be observed.
I would like to say one more thing,
Should
that
it be
we
given
cannot,
after the delivery of anterior shoulder?
Yeah. Dr. Praveen, yes.
You want to say something?
Dr. Praveen wants to say something. Yeah.
I want to ask whether it should be given IV after the delivery of anterior shoulder of the baby. What time should it be given?
Dr. Meenakshi, what is the right timing to be given?
Management of the third stage of labor is that the delivery of the anterior shoulder.
Hello,
Yes, ma'am.
what is the answer?
Anterior shoulder.
Anterior shoulder or after the delivery of the baby or after delivery of
After the
placenta?
delivery of the baby.
Baby. Yeah.
Thank
Now,
you.
here I just wish to also tell anterior shoulder we were giving, and at times we were trapped. Here it is after the delivery of the baby, but before the delivery of the placenta. You can give both intramuscularly or you can give intravenously. In a setup where we are working, intravenous is no problem. But in a periphery, when the people are working in a primary health center and things like that, intramuscularly can be as okay as it. Instead of 1 minute, it will be 2.3 minutes. But I find, this particular thing, we must be all very, very clear about this thing, that this is a wonder drug and it should be used. Even if the patient has to spend from their own pocket 300 or 400 rupees, I think it is worthwhile. It is absolutely worthwhile.
ma'am, I would like to say,
Only thing you have to in a private sector, you have to do it. In a government sector, it takes about 6 months or 3 or 4 months, for procurement of the drugs. So this is what the problem is.
Dr. Seema, you
Anybody
want
wants
say
to
something?
any more questions, please
Ma'am,
ask.
because Seema Gupta is there.
Dr. Seema Gupta.
Yeah, if it's given carbetocin as prophylactic for prevention and the patient still has bleeding, do we switch over to oxytocin or some other
Hello?
uterotonic?
So,
Other uterotonics. Other uterotonics.
Not oxytocin again.
oxytocin not again, then the study has been done by giving either Prostagin you can use after that particular one. So that would be in case it's not controlled. Giving the oxytocin is a same drug, same group. So change to mesoprost, change to Prostagin after that.
It is same. If we do oxytocin, it is.
My request to everybody is, whether it is cesarean section or whether it is vaginal delivery, after the delivery of the placenta, massage the uterus. Please. It will work as magic. It will really work as magic. We should not forget the use of uterotonic agents. Whatever agents you want to use, whether it is carbetocin, whether you want to do oxytocin, it is your choice. And once the delivery of the placenta has taken place, in vaginal delivery is a controlled contraction, you don't have to hurry up, slowly आपको इसको करना है, उसके बाद मसाज जरूर करना है. And मेरे जैसे लोग तो सिजेरियन सेक्शन में यूट्रस को जरूर बाहर निकालते हैं, जरूर बाहर निकालते हैं, और उस टाइम पे मैं मसाज जरूर करूंगी. And I think it does half of the work.
Yes. Yes.
Anybody wants to ask any question? Dr. Deepti Naam.
Ma'am, any particular contraindication for the use?
The contraindication for its use is that, patients who are asthmatic, you have to be very cautious. It can be given, but you have to be very cautious. The other contraindication is people with the hepatic disorders and things like you find gross things. Again, this has to be, the anesthetist has to take. Otherwise, there is not big contraindication. Dr. Meenakshi is going to tell. Dr. Meenakshi, what about contraindications?
And it should be used in
Cardiovascular diseases
and in patients with cardiac diseases. It should be used in consultation with the anesthetist. But
Ma'am,
otherwise,
in
it
case
has been found to be a very safe drug, and it can be used in most of the patients.
It cannot be used in epilepsy and used to in caution with preeclampsia and eclamptic patients.
No, I will say that in preeclampsia it can be used, but again, you have to use it with caution.
Yes, ma'am.
Caution in the
It
sense
has
of
to be used with caution. Epilepsy is yes. Epilepsy, yes.
An absolute
And
contraindication.
whenever you're looking at high risk patients, when I say when a patient is a placenta previa, whenever you're having a multiple pregnancy, whenever there's a history of previous PPH, you have to be extra cautious. I think in that particular patient, after giving carbetocin, if syntocinon grip is going, I will be happy. I'll be happy. There is no contraindication. If you find your patient is bleeding, you can use it as a part of the treatment.
So
What are the challenges, Dr. Meenakshi, in the use of oxytocin agents?
Yes, ma'am.
I think the challenges are, if our anesthetists are not in tune with us, preloading prior to cesarean section, that is important. And I feel in those cases, in case if you're just conducting a delivery, and if our staff is not well trained, and if you are not prepared with the things, I find in medical colleges and things like that, where active management of third stage is not properly followed, we have a problems. I was trained at PGI Chandigarh where active management was done, and the people who had not done it, they were really cautioned by the second in command of the department. And secondly, when I came down to Lady Hardinge Medical College, it was difficult training the senior residents and the residents. They're not used to it. So I think आपको अपने स्टाफ को used to बनाना पड़ेगा कि अगर इस पेशेंट को बचाना चाहते हो तो active management of third stage has to be done. Active management of third stage is that they have to give a uterotonic agents. आपको control cord delivery करनी पड़ेगी और आपको मसाज करना पड़ेगा. किसी ने आपको मना नहीं किया कि इस particular patient को आप misoprost नहीं दो. किसी ने आपको मना नहीं किया अगर आपको लगता है कि blood loss ज्यादा, आपको लगता है कि बिल्कुल dry है, then you don't need to give. Anybody wants to make any last minute comments? Any questions are there because they can ask us questions.
Then I'll give you last minute joke.
Yes.
When we have been told about the active management of third stage, we cannot forget throughout our life. There was a one Sardar, Dr. J.S. Batra, super intelligent. When it was told in the class that you have to do it with the delivery of anterior shoulder, and then he stood up and said, it has to be given to the baby's anterior shoulder. The whole class was like, for 2 days we laughed everything. And it has been labeled as because he was a Sardar, but he was super intelligent. He thought it has to be given to the anterior shoulder of the baby only. And he was very serious about that.
वो कभी लेबर रूम नहीं गया होगा.
नहीं मैडम क्लास में कह रहे हैं, 3rd 4th ईयर की क्लास में जब पढ़ाया जा रहा था.
लेकिन एक बात है, अगर हमें बेबी के एंटीरियर शोल्डर पे देना तो हम हमेशा एंटीरियर शोल्डर पे दे पाएंगे जब उठ कर जाते हैं.
It was a part of joke only.
आ रहा है नहीं.
That was the part of a joke only. I said, I'm going to tell you one joke about this thing.
Yes.
That everybody laughed like anything. It was people were on the floor only. It has to be given on the anterior shoulder. That is it. तो हम कभी नहीं भूल सकते anterior shoulder वाला active management. And
So I-
he's super intelligent boy.
We close the seminar, ma'am.
Yes.
I think the seminar has been absolutely wonderful. My special request, I will like one minute everybody will say. I will definitely say that each and everybody who is hearing me and who has attended this particular thing should start using this particular wonder drug. Costs around something like 300 to 400 rupees. But if the hospital procures it, it's going to be much cheaper. And this particular thing should be given a try. I find 100% people should definitely use it and not just listen and go away kind of a thing. Because one life saved, every life of the mother matters. And I think, you know, our effort, every effort should be there. That today we are 100 as far as the maternal mortality is concerned. But our aim is that in just few years we should be able to come to 70, which is possible. Using. And if you take away, I can see from the litigations of Delhi Medical Council and National Medical Council, you can find 40% litigations are because of the maternal mortality in PPH. So this is what the whole state of affair is. So I think one should use the wonder drug. Everybody should take a minute, last minute you want to make any comment, please do it.
It's a boon.
Dr. Meenakshi,
It's a
what do you
boon
have to
for
say?
India. It's a boon for India.
It is going to be a boon for India, and apart from it being a heat stable drug, carbetocin, and a single shot, which is effectively giving us a uterine contraction for almost 2 hours, along with the side effect of that hypertension and as well as the water intoxication, hyponatremia is not there. So definitely, I find it to be superior to oxytocin, and it should be used in all patients of active management of third stage labor for prevention of PPH.
My request to you, Dr. Meenakshi, give them the correct answer of 5 questions you asked.
The poll.
खुलता ही नहीं है link.
ऐसे बता दो, ऐसे बता दो आंसर.
Madam, I mean, while she's doing it, so why, ma'am, in East Delhi, let us all make a performer. All of us fill up this performer of the number of cases that we use, so that by the end of the month, I'm sure we'll be able to have 200 cases if all of us are doing it. Then
Perfect.
so we can have a trial of a.
When we are doing it, you should be very judiciously say to it that sir ये carbetocin ही use करना है, cesarean में oxytocin नहीं लगाना. Oxytocin उसके बाद 10 units जो भी वो देते हैं आपके drip में 10-15 units they can do it. ठीक है? But instead of bolus they should give only
Ma'am,
carbetocin.
elective cesareans start करते हैं with our, so that we know that so many elective cesareans we have given carbetocin at the right time, and let's see what the benefits.
नेहा
मैडम vaginal delivery में भी करो डॉक्टर साहब प्लीज.
नेहा चार्ट बनाएगी, चार्ट में लिखेगी कौन सा रूट दिया, क्या साइड इफेक्ट दिए, क्या
We'll make a performer.
क्या रहा, then after 1 month we'll conclude it कि that so many people have used and we'll give a perform.
Yeah.
We'll give it to Neha and she will do everything. Like we have to give that in what columns we have to fill it.
Yeah.
Side effects and effectivity.
An Excel sheet, so you all can have the Excel sheet with you and fill it up, and then we can do
Dr.
it.
Saab, this drug has been there in the market for 10 years.
That link can be
It has been there in 10 years. Unfortunate है कि हमारे यहाँ नहीं आया.
You can just fill that
2018 में आ गई थी, लेकिन अभी हमें वो नहीं मिला था. हमें अभी they have not given us green signal to use it. मैडम जून 2021 में लिया इन लोगों ने, जून में.
मुझे मालूम है डॉक्टर 2018 में क्लियरेंस हो के 19 में तो जो आईसीयूजी हुआ था उसके अंदर का ये सबसे बड़ा पेपर था. डॉक्टर मक्कड़, लास्ट मिनट योर कमेंट्स वर वेरी वैल्यूएबल. Anything which you want to give a precautionary step?
No, ma'am, nothing as such. I am not very sure what has about its safety in severely anemic patients, because it will cause the sustained contractility of the uterus and the sudden gushing of the blood back towards the heart. So I don't know whether it is safe to use in severely anemic patients or not. I have not used in any of those
I think in a severely anemic patient, as far as my impression is concerned, every drop of the blood loss is important, so it should be given.
It should be benefit versus doubt.
Okay, ma'am.
डॉक्टर साहब जिसमें शिवाली के इतने गट्स हैं कि उसको ऑपरेट कर ले, उसके लिए ये इस कार्बिटोसिन जरूरी है.
ठीक कह रहे हो.
ठीक है मैम.
Ma'am, carbetocin is available even in Bihar and Samastipur district also. And I have this carbetocin is available in Bihar at Samastipur district also, and I have used it in 5 patients, one multiple pregnancy triplet, normal vaginal unbooked case, vaginally delivered, and PPH controlled only with this carbetocin. And after half an hour, 20 units of bolus pitocin is given by me. And so
Hey,
wonderful.
Shraddha, keep using it. You have a good practice.
Yes. And but you are saying, madam, it's contraindicated in cardiac heart patient and cardiac disease.
Yes.
Contraindicated. It has to be used.
See,
with
as far as what madam has said, because it gives a very sustained contraction and retraction, in such patient one should definitely has to see it. I'm sure at that particular time, if you're operating a patient of anemia, I'm sure those anesthetists are on watch how to restrict the fluids and other things. So I think if the same precautions are taken in those serious patients, then they have to take care of it. It is not a primary responsibility of yours.
Okay.
और डॉक्टर श्रद्धा एक भी आइडेंटिफाइबल रिस्क फैक्टर है प्रीडिस्पोजिंग, देन इट डज वंडर्स. एक भी ब्रीड आपका जो फैक्टर है फॉर पीपीएच, एनी आइडेंटिफाइबल, लाइक मे बी इट्स अ गुड साइज बेबी, मे इट्स अ ट्विन प्रेगनेंसी, मे बी इट्स अ प्लेसेंटा प्रीविया, व्हाटएवर इट इज, then it acts.
Dr. Seema, you want to make any comment? Dr. Deepti Nath, Dr. Shama Batra, last minute, one sentence.
It's a wonderful drug, ma'am. Everybody should use it. That is most important.
Dr. Seema, I think all of us definitely should aim for hemoglobin of our delivering patients. If they are booked, not only 11, we should aim at 12.
Yes.
Okay?
Ma'am, I used
Then you
it
can
in a
find that
patient
they
of-
can definitely cope up with the blood loss much better.
Ma'am, I use it in one patient of placenta previa also, placenta
Yes.
previa posterior, when did a cesarean for her. And it, in fact, the lower segment also had a good response compared to oxytocin, which just acts on the upper segment.
Good.
And it had a very good effect in the placenta previa patient also. I used it in one patient, ma'am.
तो बोला है ना
And
single
placenta previa is one of the high-risk cases of postpartum hemorrhage.
Yes. Any single identifiable factor for PPH.
Right, ma'am.
And everybody who's listening, Dr. Meenakshi, please tell the answer of to everybody. Question 1 का क्या आंसर है, question 2 का क्या आंसर है, question 3 का क्या आंसर है?
I'll be sharing that screen. What is the maternal mortality rate in India currently? Currently, as per the SRS data, which is available for 2016 to 2018, the data published in 2021 is the maternal mortality rate in India is 113, which is down from 212 a decade back into 2007.
Absolutely.
Presently to 113. And the sustainable goal, which is proposed by United Nations to be achieved by 2030 for maternal mortality rate is 70. We should come down on the maternal mortality rate from 113 to 70 in next 10 years.
And this is because, what the estimation is that every year it is dropping by 5 points. So they will achieve it.
Yes, ma'am. The most common direct cause of maternal mortality in India is obstetric hemorrhage. And the PPH is labeled if a blood loss occurs more than 500 ml in a vaginal delivery and more than 1000 ml following a cesarean
section. This is the definition.
All of the following are used for treatment of PPH: misoprostol, methergine, carboprost, and oxytocin. Carbetocin is for prevention of PPH and should be used as an active management of third stage of labor.
Correct.
Current practice of active management of third stage labor, more than 60% are using oxytocin 10 units intramuscular. 20% are using oxytocin 20 units in RL infusion. Misoprostol 400 microgram orally is being used by 10%, and 10% are used carbetocin. So this was the questionnaire which I had shared. I
So
will
thank
stop.
you very much, Dr. Kudos to Dr. Meenakshi and the team of experts. Thank you very much. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you so much for giving
Thank
me
you,
the
ma'am.
opportunity, ma'am. And thank you everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
I would like to thank all the participants and dignitaries from Team Abbott. Thank you.
Madam Judith is speaking.
Yes, yes. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the
Thank you
session.
very
and
much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Judith.
Thank you Meenakshi for your good efforts.
Thank you, Sujit, ma'am. Thank you.
I enjoyed